My name is Jill Harper, and I'm a fellow of the Society of Actuaries. In appreciation of all the efforts from volunteers, the SOA is taking the opportunity to feature volunteers whose time and expertise has helped shape the profession and the communities around them. Please welcome one of our fantastic SOA volunteers, Melanie Dunn. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Jill. Thanks for having me.
Nice to chat with you. So when did you start volunteering at the SOA?
So my first volunteer experience with the SOA was shortly after I got my FSA. I got this email with a request from the curriculum committee to provide feedback on the advanced quantitative finance FSA exam. So I was sort of like a layer where they wrote the questions and they sent them to me and I sent feedback before they finalized the exam. I agreed to it for no particular reason, just because it felt like the right thing to do. But once I got into it, I really found I had a passion for trying to get the questions to be as good as possible. So, I had just come off a couple marathon years, taking all my FSA exams over a couple years. And, you get into those exams where you're writing the answers, it's sort of open-ended. And I just remember with the practice exams, sometimes I would think there was a question that was open-ended enough where you might answer it differently based on different readings. And, both answers could be reasonable. A different actuary, with the same data could come to a different conclusion. But I didn't always feel like necessarily the graders would, grade fairly, which, I think is usually things are fair. But because I had this like passion for fairness, I got really into reading all the questions and really analyzing the material that had led to those questions. And I gave a lot of feedback. The exam writers were great about engaging with me and reflecting my feedback. And I really felt like I added a lot of value in the process. So I would definitely do it again if I was asked.
That's great. I'm sure that the next generation of students really appreciated your attention there.
I hope so. I was sort of behind the scenes, right? So it's like, they don't even know, but I like to think I really made their exam better.
Better you did. So was there a SOA volunteer that inspired you in the first place?
So yes, definitely. And for me, that was actually my dad. So my dad is Harry Dunn. He had a 45-year career as an actuary in life and LTC. And actually sort of a shout out to him because he had an amazing career and he's retiring this month, which is exciting. But yeah, so most of his career was really involved in advocating related to the regulation behind life insurance. So he attended a lot of meetings and negotiations with the NAIC. He really cared about the industry, putting the right critical thinking into the process, getting the regulation right so that, on the one hand, policyholders are protected. On the other hand, insurance costs are right. And, in the middle, companies hopefully don't spend all their time chasing loopholes. And so, through the years, I've met a lot of people he worked with. And when I hear other people describe the impact that he had on the profession, I'm just so proud, and it makes me want to have the same kind of impact.
Wow, that's inspiring even to hear about.
Yeah.
Do you have any instance that you sort of knew that you were really making a difference, sort of an aha moment type of?
So, there's this one moment that stands out, and I'm going to have to keep bragging on my dad instead of myself. So I was at an SOA meeting and we were sort of sitting over, those hotel lobbies are huge and crowded. I swear it was like a quarter mile long. And someone saw us and walked all the way over just to say basically that my dad had been a mentor, had helped her grow her career, and that she was really grateful for the impact that he had had. And so, I guess I feel like that's more meaningful looking back on a career that is so long, you've touched so many people. I'm still pretty early in my career. I have a lot of years left, I hope, to volunteer and have an impact. But it was cool to see that all those investments he made over the years really paid off.
Yeah, no kidding. So how do you think that being an actuary and volunteering your time has an impact on others?
So I guess I would just say that being an actuary is a really unique credential. There's nothing else quite like it that I know of. I'd say I have a more rewarding career than most of the people I talk to about their jobs. And, really, it can only be that valuable because of all the time that we're all putting into learning from each other and really, continuing the ethic of the profession. It's sort of you get out what you put in sort of thing. So, I only get to have such a rewarding career with this profession, partly because I am putting in that effort. And I think we're all benefiting from that, and we're getting this incredibly engaged, motivated profession. We're thriving, and we're continuing to attract the best talent in students. And I think we're all benefiting from that every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I have one other question for you. What would you say to someone that's considering volunteering?
I guess there's this quote, and I'm trying to remember. It's Martin Luther King, and it's the people who aren't looking for happiness are the most likely to find it. Because when you're looking for happiness, it's easy to forget that the best way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. And I just think it's important to remember that everybody needs balance, right? And if you're thinking about volunteering, give it a try, and you might find that you get as much out of it as the people that you're volunteering with.
Absolutely. And I love that quote.
It's a good one.
Thank you, Melanie. And thanks so much for taking your time to share your experience with us. It was really inspiring to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thanks for chatting, Jill.